Hello everyone and welcome to your first class in this cohort in its Foundations of Social Justice Teaching. I'm very excited to be along with you in this journey and just to see where we begin, because this class is the beginner class. It is the start of helping us to think about what social justice is, what does equity mean, and where do we stand in the midst of all of these things. This course is made up of 8 weeks, 2-week modules, and at the end of each of those modules we will kind of switch overall topics and kind of start to build on ourselves. So hopefully you've managed to kind of look through the class a little bit during preview week. We have the announcements page, and the announcements page is very important. This is where I will post weekly announcements. I post a couple of times a week normally just to give you encouragement, to maybe help you to look at something important that's come across that I've seen, to draw attention to something and to remind you about some assignments that may come up. Read Me First actually goes through a little bit and gives you some information about the course. It will also tell you how to contact me. The course syllabus, of course, is all of your expectations and some due dates. The course guide breaks down the 8 weeks into little chunks so that you can kind of get a quick overview of the things that are important to you and when you have assignments. So anytime you see that it says deliverable, that's an assignment that you have to turn in. As you can see, there are 3 deliverables out of the 8 weeks that we are together. Assignment examples is something that I've put in based on requests from other students. So this is a place where you can look at what might be a model assignment. I want you to keep in mind none of these are perfect, but they get really good into content. So that's why they're up here, because they get very good into content. And then of course we have the modules. So this week we begin into Module 1. As you're looking at the module, they're all set up the same. So Module 1, 2, 3, and 4 will all be set up the same. You will only be able to access all of Module 1 right now. Module 2, 3, and 4 open to you slowly on a rolling basis. I do that so that you can stay focused on the module that we're in, not continue to jump ahead. They open a couple of days before each module closes, typically the Thursday night before the module is closing. I will open the new module so that you'll be able to start to preview and look around. So you'll see there are why the module is important. This gives you some of my objectives. Then there's the read and to do. That gives you a checklist and lets you know what assignments are coming up. I always do an overview for the module. I think that's important because it gives you a little more of my expectations and how I like to see things progressing. Strategies are very important. And then you get to social justice resources. This is important because we will use this folder, this particular area, 3 times in 3 different modules. So I opened us up with a little bit of an intro PowerPoint, and you can play that so it will give you an idea of overall what is social justice about. And then underneath that you'll see some subtitles: ableism, ageism, classism, heterosexism, racism, and sizeism. All of these are systemic barriers to social justice, and we will be looking at these in our discussion forums throughout the entirety of the course. So please remember, you will have to come back to Module 1 in order to access these social justice pieces as we're going through and working on discussion boards throughout the class. If you go below those subtitles, you will see Module 1 forums, learning logs, and an assignment. In all of our coursework, we will be doing discussion boards. This is how you attend class. So the expectation for discussion boards is that you get into the discussion board on Wednesday of the very first week. So by Wednesday, you should have made at least 1 post in one of the 3 discussion forums that is up here. And I see that someone has already gone in and made a post in one of these, so thank you very much. Social justice resources is the posting that will have you go back into that Module 1 resource, all of the isms, and use those resources to answer questions or to explore. The other ones will deal with the reading, some of the videos, and some of the articles that I'll be posting, so those will be different kinds of discussions than the social justice resources. So someone asked earlier, what is the idea of the perfect discussion board post? I don't believe in overkill. So I believe 1 quality paragraph where you integrate some of the information that you've learned about in class and your ideas will come together to make the perfect discussion board post. So it should be about your thoughts and then what in the course has helped to engage you in thinking a little bit more deeply about that. In your discussion boards, you do not need to do bibliographic citations because I recognize you'll be using the same materials that we have in class. So please don't worry about doing that. Just go ahead and just say, from the blind spot, the author stated, and you can give us a quick quote or maybe a paraphrase, and then add your ideas to it also. So those are discussion forums. After that, you will be engaging with other participants. So after you make your initial post, you'll be engaging with what other folks said, asking them questions. Take a look at the discussion board rubric in the Grade Center. That will help you out too. We also have learning logs. So in learning logs, this is either at the very beginning or at the very end, just a summation of your learning. These are extra tidbits. I only ask for one learning log, please, per module. I think you do enough discussion in the discussion boards to show me truly what you're keeping up with content-wise. So the learning log should be all about your processing of things that you just didn't feel like you could engage in with the other students at that time. Now keep in mind, the learning logs may be visible to other participants if they choose to look for them. I will read everyone's learning logs. Sometimes I comment on them, sometimes I don't, so keep that in mind also. I believe this is a free space for you to do some extra processing and learning, and that's why I dig into them to read them, because I want to know where you are in your learning and how you're processing the information in the class. Finally, in Module 1, you have an assignment. This assignment is your personal narrative, and this will be information about where you are in regards to understanding equity and social justice in your life. In order to turn this assignment in, you need to click the assignment link at the top of that section, and you'll come up to this preview upload page. On this page, if you scroll down, well, first off, you can view the rubric if you'd like. All of the assignment is in here again, and you can scroll down to browse my computer, and then you can link the file, and under my head, there is a submit button. So make sure that you submit it there, and that way it will come into the Grade Center and alert me that it's ready to be graded. I really try hard to keep up with grading so that by Tuesday, after a module closes on a Sunday night at midnight, by Tuesday everything is graded so that you can see your grades. I think it's important for you to get feedback quickly so that you know where you stand and how things are going, and so that you can continue to ask questions and engage with me as the instructor. I will be in and out of discussion forums. I don't like to be the be-all, end-all, so keep that in mind. I will be reading them daily. You should be in about every other day to discussion boards. That's a very good rate. You know, get in on a Wednesday, make your initial post, come back in on Friday, go back through the discussion post, continue to add comments to people. I will be in daily, and sometimes I will post and kind of keep the conversation going, ask some questions, and engage with you in those ways. All of the modules are set up the same. So after you get through Module 1, you'll notice that Module 2 will open up on a rolling basis, Module 3 and Module 4 also. You will be able to see some parts of the modules right now because I like for you to be able to know what's coming up, but you won't be able to work on any of the assignments early because they'll be closed until the module opens. So with that, I'm very excited that we get to start. I'm super excited that you guys are all with us and that this will be a cohort that will last through all 5 courses, so that we can really get to know each other and so that we can watch each other kind of grow and morph in our understanding of social justice, of equity, of systemic barriers, and how to actually build ourselves beyond those barriers. Please continue to email me if you have any questions or comments. I'm very excited to see the discussions get started. I recognize, because we're in our first week and we start on a Monday, that some folks might be a little bit later in posting this week. I want you to know this week you have grace until Thursday or Friday. Probably Friday is where I'd say the cutoff is for making your very first post in the discussion boards, because we're in our first week. But remember, beyond that, Wednesday of the first week is the expectation for your very first post so that we can start to look at attendance. The other thing I wanted to point out before I say goodbye is that, oh, great, more folks have gotten into this too. So the Class Cafe is a place where I asked you to go to introduce yourself. Hello, everybody. So that I can just have a good background of where you're coming from. And that helps me to change things into the course and morph things and be able to ask more in-depth questions so that I can get you thinking about your area in particular as we go through social justice. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope that you all have been able to get the books and that you've all been able to go through the modules just a little bit so that you feel a little more comfortable. And hopefully this little video has helped you. Have a good night. Thank you.